Adversity is the building block of courage. We hear it often in the experience of remarkable individuals who transform their catastrophes into learning experiences to benefit others. This is exactly what happened to Dr. Richard Robertson, volcanologist and geologist. In 1979, he was caught with his family in St. Vincent when Soufriere erupted.
I first got to know Richie when he came to the UWI Mona campus to pursue a degree in geology. Richie came to us as a result of the eruption of the Soufriere volcano in St. Vincent. Being a Vincentian, it was felt that they should train a Vincentian person to monitor the volcano after its activity in 1979.
Dr. Robertson surpassed expectations, making original contributions to the science of volcanology as a graduate and postgraduate student in the UK and the Caribbean.
The insights in some of the papers that Dr. Robertson has published 10 years ago now are incredible. They have ideas in them that many members of the volcanology community are just coming around to now. So he's a remarkable scientist for how he brings together all sorts of different strands of knowledge.
Dr. Robertson is really an outstanding scientist, but when he was working at the Montserrat Volcano Observatory, he did some very important research on some of the explosions and some of the pyroclastic flows, and he made some important discoveries about these rather rare deep melt magmas.
When his education was complete, the natural place for him was UWI's Seismic Research Center, which he joined in 1993. As its director, Dr. Robertson transformed the center.
Dr. Robertson, in his capacity as director, I think is one of those who has really clearly charted a way forward for the center in a very structured way. In terms of moving the center forward on not only a regional stage, but certainly on a global stage. That, I think, has been his legacy here at the Seismic Research Center. He's now looking at ways in which we can continue research and education and outreach, which is novel for a scientific center such as ours.
One of the failures, I think, prior to Richie being director was at Seismic Research Center, was not enough coverage was given of the work that was being done by the center to the public in the Caribbean. And that public education side was one area where he identified that we needed to have some more thrust in. And I think now people are far more conscious of the work and aware of the work that is being done by the Seismic Research Center.
It might seem counterintuitive that the public should need education on geologic events, since their effects are so rare.
You tend to think that it hasn't happened in your lifetime, it's unlikely to happen. And if we're only thinking in terms of short time periods, 5 years, in the region we're on this 5-year cycle because of political reasons, we would never factor in these kinds of hazards that happen over 10, 20, 100 years of years, but which, when they happen, they're going to set you back in a significant way. In 1995 eruption in Montserrat, we went into Montserrat after the eruption had started, and people were saying that they didn't know, first of all, they had a volcano. They didn't know that the volcano could erupt. So we were totally amazed because we thought we were saying that all the time.
But the consequences of unwillingness to plan for these eventualities were demonstrated by the devastating eruptions in Soufriere, Montserrat, and most recently in the Haitian earthquake of 2010.
There are a number of places in the region, right here in Trinidad, that is exactly like that, in terms of having a dense population, a concentration of people, wholly built structures, and close to an area where you could have a large magnitude earthquake. That's why we have to take these things seriously.
Unfortunately, these relatively frequent events do not mean we can take comfort for the future.
It's difficult to put a probability in it. I think what we tend to look at is how long ago one of these events happened, and what is the kind of general return period of these events. And the kind of magnitude I'm talking about is a magnitude 7.58 earthquake. Various of my colleagues and I have been saying that we are overdue, or we are due for a large event that could have devastating impact.
Dr. Robertson's tireless work in this field has increased education and regional preparedness, but it has also helped the perception and efficiency of the region and its institutions.
He's also led the Seismic Research Centre at the University of the West Indies and Trinidad, to be really one of the top, most highly regarded institutions in volcanology in the world.
For his devotion to science, public education, and building an institution crucial to the region's survival, Dr. Richard Robertson is the Anthony N. Sabga Caribbean Awards for Excellence Laureate in Science and Technology for 2014.